This is a planet where learning is despised. The girl not only studied in secret, but also achieved significant results. Some people on the planet are plotting to execute her. Her mother had no choice but to accept an invitation from a distant empire. Two guards were standing at the border, because once you leave the planet, you are also erased from its records. An imperial ship traveled 100,000 light years to come, specifically to welcome this unremarkable girl. She begged her parents to go with her, but neither her mother nor father had ever been educated. They couldn't survive on other planets. Reluctantly, she had to say goodbye to her family. The two guards stepped aside for her. It symbolized that she would never set foot on the planet again in her life. Her mother prayed for her once more. As the ship departed, she disappeared forever from her family's sight. The ship headed toward a space station to switch to a more advanced warp ship. Having never encountered technology on her home planet, she seemed a bit lost. Even though she had read about how to use it in books, there were always some differences from reality. The emissary who welcomed her gave her an on-the-spot lesson. This was how Gaul learned to use the identity verification system. The two entered the cryopods. The staff attached the device to her body. Although she had never seen it in real life, Gaul was already familiar with its principles and mathematical formulas. Web-like structures wrapped around her. Without proper training, the body and brain would become uncoordinated in the wormhole. There were many other travelers at the station. As the ship's warp drive activated, a powerful energy gradually formed a wormhole. During the warp flight, Gaul's cryopod seemed to malfunction. She unexpectedly woke up during the journey. She witnessed the wondrous moments inside the wormhole. When the staff saw her awake, they rushed to remedy the situation. As the ship exited the wormhole, the warp drive gradually stopped. Gaul marveled at the sight of Trantor's space elevator. This cylindrical elevator stretched from space down to 100 floors below Trantor's surface. The ship successfully docked. Since Trantor was the imperial capital, the place was particularly bustling. Entering the city required strict security checks. Since Gaul's sponsor was Dr. Selden of Streeling University, she easily obtained a pass. She entered the passenger compartment. She sat down as instructed. The compartment began its rapid descent. Due to the vast distance from the surface, even at such speeds, it would still take 14 hours to reach the ground. Strictly speaking, it wasn't even the true surface, because billions of residents lived 100 floors underground. They worked their entire lives on the 100th floor underground, yet they never had the chance to see the surface above. The surface layer was home to the Emperor's palace. They were dawn, day, and dusk. All three were the same person, just different aged clones. Whenever one of them died, the next clone of the Emperor would take their place. It was an eternal, unceasing cycle. There would never be another transition of the throne. The 14 hours passed quickly. Gaul finally descended to the 64th floor of the Trantor station. The emissary who had welcomed her had completed his mission. He no longer had anything to do with what came next. The two formally said goodbye. She took out her ID badge and began searching the crowd for the student sent to meet her. Finally, they met. The student gave her a brief overview of the surroundings. It was then that Gaul realized the sky was all a virtual image. Most people would spend their entire lives without ever leaving this level.